I love my husband, and to say that I obey him is to say I honor him, to say I respect him and his choices and his decision to lead this family. I don't lead nothing. If I were to lead this family, we'd be down in the gutter because I got Afterpay, Affirm, I got all this craziness in my life. I ain't leading nothing. That's what God created him for me. He is my helpmate, and I'm to be his helpmate, not his burden, not his back talk, not the one that brings him down. And so sometimes I think that we are in such this independent mindset as women, and it's like, I'm sorry.
Reason 7, he's experienced more peace without a woman. And fellas know this one's true. Most men have found more peace single than they ever had in a relationship. No drama, no arguing, no ego wars, just quiet, just order, just freedom. And here's the danger for modern women. Once a man gets a taste of that kind of peace, he doesn't chase noise anymore. He doesn't chase headaches. He doesn't chase chaos. Because once you've lived in peace, you start protecting it like it's a treasure. And the sad truth is, too many women don't bring peace. They bring problems. And older men would rather stay single forever than trade peace for problems.
Calling men insecure for having boundaries is the craziest take on the internet. If your man asks you to not post half-naked photos or thirst traps, that doesn't automatically make him controlling. There's a difference between controlling someone and asking for respect. And it's actually disrespectful because it also shows the other men that you don't really value a relationship. And the double standard is wild. Calling a man insecure when they simply ask you to not dress trashy is like him calling you insecure when he asks to go to a strip club. You wouldn't like that, would you? I'm not saying women shouldn't post anything. I'm saying if you do, don't act like your partner is overreacting, because boundaries exist in every relationship, and sometimes protecting what's ours is not called insecurity. And honestly, as a woman, I feel being selective with your visibility doesn't make you look weak. It makes you harder to replace.
You know, modern women are trying to figure out why men aren't chivalrous. It's the level of disrespect that you guys continue to display on a daily basis, honestly and truly, that makes a man pull back.
I'm gonna lie to you guys, I find men hilarious. I saw this woman talk about, men, don't want to date women who dress half naked and are twerking all around the place. Now, I don't completely disagree with her at all, but men's intentions versus behavior is where things get complicated. Because a man will state his intention with you, and some, they don't even do that. But they will let you know what they're looking for. Then their behavior indicates something else. If a man just wants to sleep with you, he should just sleep with you. If a man wants more with you, then he should show you that he wants more with you. But these days, it's starting to look the same. Men will treat women that they want to date and women that they sleep with the exact same. And then get confused when people start blurring the lines. Why are you introducing her to your family if you do not want her? Why does she know about your personal life? Why are you inviting her into spaces that a wife should be in only? Men don't even follow these standards that they claim to have. It's comical.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Ladies, this is between us, ne? Eating and chilling. These are the 3 type of men that you need to run away from, ne? Baleg. Number 1 is a man who doesn't have a relationship with God. If he doesn't have a relationship with God, there's no higher standard that is guiding his choices. It's fine for him. Every day is fine for him. If a relationship, baleg. 2 is a man who doesn't have self-control, or self-discipline. This is a man who cannot control his desires. If he must do something. You need to have a self-controlled man. A man who's self-disciplined, who knows what he wants and who knows what he's doing. Baleg, if he doesn't have that. Number 3 is a man who disrespects the people around him. If he can't respect his mother or his sisters, go and go in. Balega, please, for your own good.
It really does get old to continue to have all of these double standards. And modern women want this type of treatment. They don't want to have to cater to a man, but they want a man to cater to them.
A few people have asked me my thoughts on the Scott Galloway post about modern dating and men, and here's my thoughts on this. I think the biggest problem with these conversations is how they are framed as though the systems and women are failing men. I think we do this with dating. I think we do this with the male loneliness epidemic. We kind of frame it as though everything is failing men, as opposed to the fact that men are not adapting to kind of modern day life. Women for centuries have had to mold themselves and adapt to the systems that men created to find some sort of success. And now that women women are achieving it more than men, we are looking to it and saying we're failing them. We are failing the men. We need to change something. And ultimately, I think what the framing of those things looks like is that we're asking women to change and women to adapt to where men are at, as opposed to asking men to change and adapt to the current systems. And I think this kind of points to the birth rate conversation we were having earlier this week. The economist Claudia Golden cited in certain research that she thinks the birth rate drop is partially to do with the fact that men are not participating in the homes and they haven't adapted to modern day life. Women these days are working full time, taking care of the home, taking care of the kids, and that has changed drastically, right, in the last 50, 60 years. And men have not changed with the times, right? Women are working outside of the home, but men are not participating in a more equitable way inside the home. And so women are opting out of that, which we don't talk about enough, right? We don't talk about how the fact that their inaction or inability to adapt and change is part of the reason these things are happening. And so I think as it pertains to like the male loneliness epidemic or all of these things, you know, women now can get a college education. They can have a job. They can have careers. They can have their own money. They can buy their own house. And so they can achieve all of these things on their own, and they no longer have to attach themselves to men to get those things. And now that that's the case, we're looking at it as though there's some sort of crisis on our hands that we have to address. And I think that's the reason I don't like the framing of it. I'm not saying that we shouldn't care about the impact on men. I want everybody to be happy, healthy, and thriving, but I also don't think that it should come at the expense of women sacrificing their standards or their wants and their needs. And I think that's the missing part of the conversation.
And you can't continue to say, oh, well, you know, where are all of the chivalrous men? I'm looking for a generous man. I'm looking for a single man. A single man is not looking for you. You're neither generous, you don't reciprocate, and bottom line, you're a loser.
In long-term heterosexual relationships, men live longer partnered and they live less when they're single. And it's inverse for women. When women are partnered with men, their longevity decreases as opposed to if they were single. And when we look at life satisfaction surveys, we're also seeing generally that single women are happier than married women, especially if they have children. Is this telling you that you shouldn't get married, that you shouldn't have children? No. What I'm telling you is that when he has to book a doctor's appointment, don't book it for him. When his socks are on the ground, don't pick it up for him. His laundry's been on the line for 2 weeks, don't do it for him. Any life force that takes out of you to raise someone that you didn't birth yourself takes from you, and it pays in dividends at the end of your life. If you didn't give birth to him, don't raise him. It will kill you slowly but surely. He's an adult. He can do it on his own.
Wild that so many common phrases used to shame women actually just indicate the failures of men. So if you think about it, daddy issues is made to feel like the girl can't even keep her father around when really it's that he abandoned her or mistreated her. A single mom, a man left his partner and all of the responsibilities of their child, but she stuck around, handles it all by herself, and yet is shamed for it. A psycho ex, a woman reacting to being mistreated, is made out to be irrational. A trophy wife, somebody who is objectified and only valued by her looks.
The idea that every single mom doesn't bear any responsibility for what happened in that relationship? You mean to tell me there's no single moms out there who were responsible for the demise in some way of the relationship? That doesn't exist in your mind?
Women today are more successful than ever. They're more professionally successful. They're more financially independent. Women get more college degrees and graduate degrees than men do. There's even some data that over 50% of business startups are done by women. There are a lot of resources now for women in the corporate world, in the world of tech. When it comes to building a career, it's the best time in history to be a woman. However, as women become more successful, the dating pool of acceptable men significantly shrinks. This is an uncomfortable truth to talk about, but women are hardwired to be attracted to men who are in the same socioeconomic status or higher. So as we are now living in this modern era where women are more successful than ever, you see a lot of these women surpassing men educationally, professionally, financially. So that means that the dating pool available to these women is smaller and smaller and smaller. It is what it is. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. It is what it is.
You know, you have a lot of men checking out of dating because they're looking at the landscape and they're like, I don't know if this is worth my time, man. I don't know if I should even be out here. I think I'm gonna go get a burger and go home, man.
If you go to a man with a simple problem and he doesn't fix it, understand he hates you.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. That has to be one of the biggest, most convoluted stretches in logic that I have ever actually heard. And to think that there are some women that actually want to be taken seriously when they say stuff like this. But to their credit, at least they use the word hate correctly.
And any man who hates you will you.
Just imagine the type of internal conflict that a person that would have this particular type of mindset would have. Because first of all, they would actually have to think of new and interesting ways every single day to try to manipulate men who they obviously despise into getting them to do exactly what they want while trying to put on a facade for everyone else around that they are actually strong and independent, yet still insist that men do everything for them, including solve their problems. It would be absolutely exhausting.
Men want traditional women, but forget that traditional men pay all the bills, fix everything around the house, and never ask what you bring to the table. Your men be so quick to call a woman masculine or too independent, but don't want to help her in the areas she's been forced to survive in. You can't expect her to be soft and feminine when she out here doing everything on her own. So stop saying women don't cook like grandma, because most of your men don't pay bills like granddad. Traditional women existed because traditional men led, provided, and protected without question. A woman is only soft when she feels safe. She rests in her femininity when she has a man who step up, take responsibility, and make her feel secure. So if you want a traditional woman, be the man she can depend on, not another weight she have to carry. Comment 100 if you agree, and follow for more truth from the mountain.
You know, what modern women have to understand is that men don't hate you. It's just when they weigh the two, and you have peace on one hand and toxicity on another hand, which one do you think that most men are going to choose? Probably peace.
This is why good men, number one, got off social media, and number two, stopped asking you out. What does the text say on this one? On my way to another date as a straight woman, fully aware no man alive can meet the level of emotional depth I expect. So I'll just bully him in the entire date for fun. This is why guys stopped asking you out. This is why guys stopped dating you. This is why guys stopped approaching you in bars, and now you're having a tantrum about it because you waste their time. You waste their time. You go on the date on their dime. You're rude. You sit, you lecture them, you eat the food and drink the drink that they provide and get all tipsy and then go out for your after party, and you treat it like you have done something amazing that then you boast about, that you used him, essentially.
Are you ordering?
Yeah, I'm waiting in line.
Oh, what'd you say?
Yeah, I'm waiting in line.
Oh, okay. Can I wait with you?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Perfect.
How's you guys' night going?
Pretty good, yeah. We're trying to just get 2 lemon drops, so we're not doing anything crazy.
Okay, that's what's up.
Do you want to take it with us?
Huh?
Do you want to take lemon drops with us?
I'm okay. I'm gonna get a Crown and Sprite.
Oh. What's your name?
Andrew.
Andrew? I'm Kylie.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Jordan. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Did anyone else notice the complete attitude shift of that one woman when he didn't offer to buy their drinks? This is what gives women a bad rap, that you are just trying to use a man. You're not interested in him. You just want to get a free drink. The man in the video had a great assessment of what happened, and I'm going to tag him below if you guys want to go back and watch the full video. But this is why, guys, you do not want to be the guy that is buying random women drinks at the bar, especially when they have targeted you, because the motivation for women to approach you in a setting like this is to get free drinks. Unless a woman spends a large amount of her time and she has zero attitude shift about you not offering to buy her drinks, then maybe she's actually interested in you. Then after spending a large chunk of time with her, maybe you want to offer that drink. Maybe that would be worth it. But for you to not even speak more than 5 words to a woman and then have her expect you to buy her drinks, it is because she's just spending her entire night doing that, going from man to man, using them. So don't be one of those guys.
And you have men that are trying to be gentlemen. They're trying to open up doors. But modern women are, oh, you don't got to do that for me. They don't, even if they don't say that, they don't say thank you. That's the bare minimum. If somebody does something nice for you, the bare minimum is to say thank you. Hey, I appreciate it. That's the bare minimum. But modern women don't even do that now. What you can guarantee out of modern women is that they're going to act a fool at some point in time. You can't guarantee that they gonna act like they have some manners.
I don't know what a feminine man is. I don't
know exactly what it is. You honestly feel threatened by them because that's the one thing that you probably lack as a human is this empathy vehicle that you're so afraid to lay claim to when really it's necessary for your manhood. Mm-hmm. I believe that 1,000%. The most well-rounded individuals, male and female, must have the ability to be what y'all call this masculine. When it's as a woman, it's like when it's two becomes one, there's got to be some bleed over. There's this purge. There's this sauce that you make of a man's masculinity and a woman's femininity. Those things don't, just like y'all mesh, so does that energy. I would not expect my woman to not pick up some sort of masculine traits, but these are mine. I get to watch her use my slang, carry that like I carry it. That's the most beautiful thing. As long as we call it a war, we will forever be intimidated when we see it in ourselves. But that's really just women touch you in a way that make you softer, bro.
Yeah,
and you must acquire that to survive.
I think a lot of modern women are so short-sighted that they don't really understand that the person who they are, who they're proud of, is actually going to hold them back. And I know you like the spirit. You know, I fought through this and I've gone through that, and it made me who the person that I am today. And so they feel like in a lot of situations, in a lot of cases, well, you know, I had to fight through some stuff to build myself up to this person. And men will appreciate that about me. And so they'll say, oh yeah, she's a fighter, I love her. But that's not the way it goes, because that fight and that disrespect turns to him. There's nothing wrong with you challenging and trying to help him out, but a lot of times modern women are downright disrespectful.
Recognize when a man is trying to treat you as a low value woman and use that opportunity to show him that you are high value. I'm going to give you a very common example. Let's say you send him a message first thing in the morning, but he doesn't reply until the very end of the day, close to midnight or even after midnight. He gives a common excuse, which I hear a lot from my female clients, which is that when he's busy at work, he doesn't have his phone with him, or once he got home, he suddenly fell asleep and he's only getting to his phone now. On that note, let me just make a point about that excuse. Let's say someone told that man that they were going to call him to give him $1 million. You telling me that that man will not have his phone with him the whole day despite of how busy work is? You telling me that he will fall asleep when he gets home and forget the phone call that he's waiting for? You are worth more than $1 million. So if this is a situation that you found yourself, this is what you do. You don't start shouting at him, complaining to him that he doesn't appreciate you. This is what a low value person does. A low value person needs someone else to validate them. But when you are high value, you know your worth. So what you do is you send him a polite message saying, thanks for your response. When you are ready to prioritize conversations with me, then you can send me a message. But until then, please do not contact me.
Here's how you can spot men who actually like women. Like, not just think that they're hot and not just like the idea of women, but men who actually like women. You're gonna have such a better time in dating if you date one of these. Okay, men who like women will have women as friends. And not just that they're waiting around for this woman to become available so that they can make a move, but they actually enjoy their company and they can actually have a friendship without making it or romantic. Okay, another way is that men who like women are going to be obsessed with you, like obsessed with every single part of you, like every part of your body and also every part of you as a person, like your personality, your interests. They're just going to think that you're cool. They're going to like the things that you do. And they might even be like the tiniest bit afraid of you. Another way that you can spot men who like women is that they are amazing eaters. They go down like it's their last meal. Like they need it to breathe even when they can't breathe, if you know what I mean. Okay, and then lastly, this is most obviously, but also most importantly, they're not going to be conservative. Sorry. Okay, bye.
I don't think that you should nag your man for a ring because that's just not what I believe in. We simply do not do that kind of stuff over here. But what I think you should do is book a trip by yourself.
No.
Just book a luxurious vacation. Don't invite him.
Why?
Start sending yourself monthly flowers from your secret admirer.
That's manipulation.
The next time you get a DM from like an actually hot guy, which is rare, I know it's rare, but In the event that you do get a DM from a hot guy, send it to your man and be like, oh my God, like this guy won't leave me alone.
Oh,
And
what?
it's just,
No.
like,
No.
honestly, okay, even if he is ugly, just do a little Photoshop and like put someone like really attractive as the profile.
That's
photo.
manipulation.
I know you ladies can figure out how to do that if you wanted to. Someone here has got to be good with Photoshop, so maybe.
No. If your goal is to get married, and that's what you're in a relationship with this guy, you feel like he's the one for you, you talk to him about it. Because realistically, he cannot read your mind. Maybe he's not ready yet. Maybe he doesn't want to get married at all. You don't know. And if he tells you he never wants to get married, it means he doesn't ever want to get married. And you have to decide if that's gonna be a deal breaker for you. But building up resentment and playing these weird games is not gonna work. And yet, you're not going to get the result you want. And even if you do, you're going to spend forever wondering if he actually did it because he wanted to or because you tricked him or manipulated him into it. And it's not going to feel good for you. Sometimes you're not on the same page with this, and there's not a whole lot of compromise there. Sometimes there is, and if there is, you guys can talk about that too. But sometimes you're not right for each other because your feelings on that are different, and that's okay. But you don't need to play games.
Most dangerous person in the world, we're producing millions of them, and that is a lonely, young, broke male. Dogs are happiest when they're lying on top of you. The worst thing you can do to a dog is leave it alone all day. And what we're doing to young people is they are leaving others and themselves alone all day. We're separating from each other, we're becoming less social. And there's a group of men receive well at school, don't find a source of pride. Auto shop, metal shop, wood shop's gone away. They go online to date. The majority of them get rejected. If you're average attractiveness in online dating, you have to swipe right 200 times to get a single coffee. If you set up 5 coffees, you'll get 1 will actually show up. 4 of the 5 will ghost you and decide later on they don't actually want to meet up. So a young man of average attractiveness in online dating has to swipe right 1,000 times. So he gets validation for 1 coffee. He gets validation that he has no worth to the other sex. He loses confidence. He starts engaging with people because he has less opportunities for random encounters where he has to develop those skills. And slowly but surely he sequesters from society. And at some point, he just is not really savable. He just never develops those skills around friendship or romantic relationships. In the United States, 1 in 7 men doesn't have a single friend. 1 in 4 can't name a best friend.
You trying to cry in New England or New Orleans? What you doing? You trying to cry in Nissan or Rari?
What the is wrong with you? You'd rather be a than take a trying to have you ask this girl.
A deeply feminine woman does not want to be your equal. She wants something beyond that. She wants to surrender into your trust and leadership. Because if you are equals, why should you pay for dinner? Why should you open the door? Why should you be the one that goes off to war and dies? We don't, as men, want to sacrifice our lives for an equal. We want to sacrifice our lives for something that's divine and nothing less. It is important to hold this frame in relationship because what she's craving is to surrender into your potency and power and leadership as a man. And the only way she can do that is if you have her in the proper frame, which is something that is beyond wholeness, that is beyond equality. The game of relationship evolves in 3 stages. So in stage 1, it's where the man has power over and the woman has power under, and there's this kind of codependent thing that's going on. And then in stage 2, you're equals, and you're 2 equals coming together, creating this third thing called a relationship. That's what therapy gets us to. But there's a stage beyond that where you decide that wholeness isn't enough. I want to go beyond wholeness. I want to experience something beyond myself. And when you evolve into that stage as a couple, the dynamic changes, and it changes into this like muse and creator dynamic where the woman becomes the muse that you are in service of, and you are the creator that's creating a world for her to express her beauty and her joy and her excitement. And her beauty and her joy and excitement feeds you to go create more and to play bigger games.
Come on, and put it on me.
Put it on you, girl.
On me.
I'ma put it on you, girl. Got to do with it.
Would any men
like to do the emotional labor of educating James here on how I could personally enjoy a more traditional relationship structure as a more feminine energy seeking more masculine energy, and still be a feminist. That would be awesome.
Ladies, don't be afraid to start approaching the men that you find interesting or attractive first. Hear me out. I don't know any men, not a single man, who doesn't like to be approached. I do, however, know a handful of women that do not like to be approached. They're a little freaks, so I think a little bit of work in the front end, just a dash, just to see if there's a mutual interest there, doesn't hurt.
If a man is asking you out, you don't have to say yes. But you can be honest about if you're interested, right? And a man shouldn't feel confused. If you're chasing a woman and you're confused, please stop. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, stop. The chase is not respected. It's liked. It's loved. It's expected. The chase is expected. It's not respected. So, any man who's focused on himself, focused on his own life, his own lifestyle.
I think the reason why people don't want love is because most women want their bills paid. They don't want love.
Oh.
They got 4 or 5 people. They got 4 or 5 people because they got more than 4 or 5 bills. And I think as long as we're in this transactional era of time, it's never going to be able to get back to love. We got to focus on the core value of what actually matters inside of a relationship. And we've strayed too far. Honestly, don't get mad at me. I know there's a lot of ladies in here.
I'm seeing all the faces behind you.
It's the truth. You know, honestly, we live in an era.
Wow.
6.5% of married Black couples are below the poverty line. It's not very different from married couples in the United States. So the whole country, which includes Black people, the whole country, it's 4.6% of married couples are below the poverty line. Families that are headed by single women are 31% below the poverty line. That is insane.
Why do you think men aren't approaching women anymore?
Why do you think what?
Men aren't approaching women
let me
anymore.
do this one. They're so full of themselves. They literally love themselves. Sorry. They're literally all up in your grill. They just think that like they're not that like no one wouldn't like them.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody likes you. Make us like you, and then we'll like you.
What can a guy do to make you like him?
Just be nice. How am I being nice?
You don't like nice guys. Let's be honest.
No, how about like a gentleman?
A gentleman?
Questions and listen.
Okay.
Listen.
So someone who's attentive. Okay. Listen. Okay, a listener. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Women are going crazy, guys, because they can't figure out why you're not going up to them anymore. Guys' eyes are wide open now, right? They're wide open. And they're starting to say, well, you know what? I used to think it was worth it for me to just put myself out there all the time because, you know, I wanted to take a girl out. But now I'm realizing you got the gold diggers, you got the women who want the free meal, you got the women who expect me to do everything, but in return want to do nothing. You got women who are saying, what do you bring to the table? But when you ask them, they get insulted. You got women who don't. You can't even talk. You talk about, you know, oh, yeah, you had 400 boyfriends before and you slept with all of them. You know, they get defensive. Maybe I just don't need to pursue women right now at all. That's what's happening.
Women do not leave good men. Y'all leave healthy relationships faster than y'all leave abusive ones. There is literally a trend going on right now that women created labeled "Why I Left the Good Man." He checked all the boxes. Millions and millions of views, thousands of comments, thousands of videos. This is a whole trend. What are you talking about? Y'all can't make up your mind. Y'all will stay relationships for literal years, but y'all leave a good man because he wasn't your good man. You leave a good man because he's boring. He wasn't toxic enough. And these are all y'all words, bro. Just search "Why I Left the Good Man" and just scroll through. Most diabolical junk ever. So to see those videos and then say, oh, women don't leave the good man, like, come on. A lot of them take the good men for granted. And then after they done been through this and that, then they want to go ahead and settle down with the good man.
And I've never met a man that I've been like, oh my God, I fumbled him. I've never left a man that I feel like, I cannot believe I done really played this good, great man. Never. Any man I ever left, I felt like, okay, yeah. Next. It never gave, oh, he was a good man, I should have never left him. Because if he was a good man, he'd still be my man. If he was a good man, baby, it wouldn't be nothing to sit up here and not miss. You only miss good people, right? You only care about good people. You only work things out with good people. So it's never been, oh my God, I fumbled him. Another woman is gonna get this man and she's gonna be, I can't believe I did that. It's always big, yeah, go ahead and have at him. He's emotionally unavailable, he's emotionally immature. He was raised by a single mama, so he act like a bitch.
Do you want to know the one thing that my man is never going to have to worry about? If and when the day comes that I announce a man on my social media that I am with this man in a relationship, he is never going to have to worry about getting messages from other men. Bro, I thought I was dating her. Bro, I've been talking to her. Because I don't have a roster, and I certainly don't entertain multiple men. And that's the problem with the modern dating in 2026, is everyone has a backup plan. Some of you men and women want the benefits of a connection without the responsibility of a commitment, and then making multiple people thinking that they had a lane. And to both men and women, how do you expect someone to choose you, because we all want to be chosen, when you are only half in? So y'all can have that toxic dating culture. I don't want any part of it. Like, I'm not built for divided focus. So to my future man, I don't know if I know you already or if I still have yet to meet you, but whoever that may be, you do not have to worry about another man messaging you. Bro, I've been dating her. I've been talking to her, because I don't roll that way. Y'all have a great day.
Did you know that these famous men practiced celibacy at one point or another? Because I definitely didn't. While filming the movie Silence, Andrew Garfield was celibate for several months in 2016. Not only was he celibate, but he was also fasting. So on a podcast, Andrew revealed that for a period of time, he was experiencing some pretty wild and trippy experiences. Terry Crews revealed to ET that he had a 90-day fast with his wife, Rebecca. He said that what was beautiful about it was that it took him to a time when he was 12 years old, liked a girl, and didn't know anything about sex. At first, Terry thought that the fast was going to be horrible, but later said that it was the best thing we had ever done. Justin Bieber was celibate for 1 year. In 2019, he told Vogue that he had a legitimate problem with sex and decided to abstain so he could get closer to God. Justin said, "I think sex can cause a lot of pain. Sometimes people have sex because they don't feel good enough, because they lack self-worth." And honestly, what Justin said can be very true. No matter the reason for practicing celibacy, if you learned something new today like I did, comment down below.
What's up, my guys? Have you been trying to win a girl over and it just doesn't seem to be going anywhere? We all know that some girls can be hard to read. So I'm going to help you see the signs a little bit more clearly and help you decide if it's time to stop pursuing her. Let's get into it. Are you feeling confused? Yes, it's probably time to move on. When someone wants to be with you, they'll make it clear. And if you're making it clear on your end, it should be reciprocated. She introduces you as a friend with literally no hesitation. She never has time or just constantly keeps flaking on plans. Listen, if somebody cancels plans, they need to reschedule. It's not your problem. Is she not replying to you? It's not as deep as you think it is. She just doesn't want to engage in conversation. Stop lessening your self-worth by begging for a response. Move on. She doesn't know what she wants. Well, let her go figure it out. Since when were you a certified therapist? Do you feel like every conversation nowadays with your close friends is literally just you seeking advice? She's taking control of your life. She hasn't pursued you at all. If it's one-sided, there's your answer. This situationship is not serving you.
Let's talk about the hypocrisy. Modern men want a woman to submit, cater, cook. They'll hit you with lines like, "It's a partnership." Translation, "I want the benefits of being a man without the burden of being a man." Otherwise, what are we building? Love without foundation is a liability. Stop demanding respect for a position you don't qualify for. It's a responsibility. You can't be king and coworker at the same time. Pick one. If you want her soft, feminine, and peaceful, then you need to create an environment for that. Because nothing makes a woman masculine faster than stress. And nothing stresses a woman out more than carrying bills. Provision makes her soft. You can't demand her feminine energy while giving her masculine problems. They want you to go 50-50 like a business partner, but still cook, clean, and stroke their ego like a traditional wife. Stop letting these men sell you wolf tickets with cute phrases like, "It's about love, not money." So ask yourself, Do you want a man who can truly lead, or a man who wants the perks of leadership without paying the price, except nothing less than queen treatment?
Man, let us know what y'all think about this. Leave a comment down below.
You, as a woman, just can't date down. Trust me when I say this, a man will bring you to the level he is at. Don't ask me how I know. So if you date down, no matter how much you love him and how hard you try to pull him to rise up, it won't work. Not if he hasn't chosen better for himself. It'll just sink you to where he's at. So if he lacks peace, he will take yours. If he lacks ambition, he will take yours. If he lacks confidence, he will take yours. And they think they're okay with that, but over time, his insecurities, his ego, his jealousy will get the best of him. That's why women who date down tend to go down. That's also why a lot of women have a hard time leveling up in a relationship when he wants to stay where he's at, because he's literally energetically pulling her down. Hence the post-breakup glow up that we're all so familiar with. And I know it's twisted because you saw his potential and wanted to invest in him, but that energy is honestly better spent investing in yourself and finding a man who's actually a true match, not just a project for you to work on. You seeing his potential won't change him, but his direction will always shape you.
It's my personal opinion that the more satisfying marriages are born from friendship. And so if you would like to be married, you need to find more like-minded friends. You have to expand your social circles, and you have to find people who you enjoy hanging out with. And the more opportunities that you create for yourself, then the more possibilities there are of finding a potential spouse. And so how do you expand your social circles? You use your hobbies and your interests to find other people who enjoy the same thing, and you just keep expanding and meeting people that way. I know that this is really hard. You're going to have to put yourself out there, and so you are going to have to muster up all of your social skills and get rid of your social anxiety and just go out and just keep meeting people. Now, the added benefit of doing something like this, though, is that there's a good chance that you may find somebody who enjoys the same things that you do. There are a lot of people out there who are going to say that if you are looking to get married, then what you have to do is work on yourself first. And there is absolute truth to that. The problem is there's going to be a lot of things about yourself that you don't even know needs changing until you're in a committed relationship. And so you work on your humility and you work on your ability to compromise, and always work on yourself to change for the better.
Why aren't men getting married anymore? It's not because they hate love or they're against love. It's because the system is actually stacked against them. In 1960, 72% of adults were married, and today it's barely 50%. And among men under 30, it's pretty much nowhere. Here's why. Divorce courts, they'll take all of the man's money, they'll take the kids, they'll take the house. 90% of child custody goes to women, and men pay millions in child support and alimony every year. Then there's the happy wife, happy life culture where men sacrifice everything to keep the peace. Meanwhile, if a man wants traditional roles, it's labeled as toxic. So men naturally ask themselves, what is the upside? And for a lot of guys, there isn't one. It's not that men in general hate commitment. They hate commitment to a system that is designed to punish them for existing. Till marriage becomes a partnership and not a legal liability, men will continue to keep saying, no thanks. Do you think men are right to walk away from the thought of marriage, or do you think that marriage is still worth it? Let me know in the comments.
Guys need to start approaching girls again in the bar because we want to be approached. At the end of the day, like, you should be able to read body language and figure out like which girl wants to be approached. I feel like that's a main reason why girls go to the bar is to hang out with her friends and talk to guys. I actually hate being like a couple hours into the bar and just seeing guys just duoed up, paired up, like they're still in their groups. Literally, it's like you could have like just all done this in your house. You didn't have to drive all the way out to the bar to just stand in a circle with your friends. Men are just standing at the bar, just fucking watching the game on the TV, and it's like, leave. Why the are you here if you're not gonna make a move? Well, also my question is, if you're not gonna make the moves out when you are drunk and with your friends, when are you gonna do it? Why would you make the moves at the grocery store when you're alone and sober? It's so much more intimidating out there because you're probably gonna get rejected because I'm out there getting some bread and milk and now I'm like scared that you just approached me. But I'm at the bar and I have a drink in me and I'm being social with my friends. Yeah, I'm going to be more accepting of a conversation with you out at the bar. Read body language, understand who's there to meet people and who isn't, and you're good.
A los niños se les exige caballerosidad, educación y autocontrol. A las niñas se les exige que exijan. Tú te lo mereces, no esperes menos. Pero no les enseñan a ser amables, recíprocas y corteses. Saben exigir, pero no saben dar. Quieren trato de reina, pero no se comportan como tal. La caballerosidad es obligatoria, pero la feminidad es una opción. El merecimiento es el cáncer de la cultura femenina. Y el sacrificio, solo porque sí, porque eres hombre, es la metástasis de ese cáncer en la cultura masculina. Mujer, cuando vayas en un bus y no te cedan un puesto, no te preguntes ¿dónde están los caballeros? Pregúntate, ¿realmente soy una dama o soy una malcriada malagradecida? ¿Soy educada o me creo superior a los hombres? Los hombres están cansados de ser el tapete voluntario de princesas de cartón con coronas imaginarias que no se han ganado. El trabajo es de ambos, hacen falta caballeros, pero ya las damas casi no se ven. El cambio empieza por ti, una persona a la vez. Sígueme si eres hombre y quieres ver más contenido como este.
Some women never get asked the question, what do you bring to the table? Or are you submissive? Or I wish you were more feminine. Some women are never asked those questions because they choose men that lead, that have a purpose. Because those kinds of men exude the kind of confidence to where he can spot the kind of energy that he's attracted to. So no, people don't ask me what I bring to the table, or are you feminine? Are you submissive? Because I exude that kind of energy in a man's presence. So who y'all be talking to where y'all gotta ask these kinds of questions? There's probably them kind of women who y'all be asking to approach y'all and ask y'all on dates, and then you wonder why they not feminine, they more masculine. You wanted that, Mr. Ask me first. Ask me for my number. Approach me. I don't know. Y'all let me know what it seemed like.
So earlier today, I did a video on chivalry and it got a really good response. And I just wanted to follow up on another video that I saw. It was a really nice Gen X guy who just decided to try to do something nice. I guess he walked by a woman who was putting some like ice bags into her car, and he asked her if she needed help. And apparently she got very offended by his offer to help. She automatically said, "Oh, is it because I'm a woman?" And to all you women out there, especially this younger generation that want to be so independent and don't want anybody to help you, you have every right to do that. But when somebody comes and tries to help you, just be courteous about it. They're not doing it because they think they're better than you. It's just the right thing to do. Imagine if you were trying to lift something heavy and some dude walks by and he just totally ignores you, then you're going to about that too. All you have to do is say thank you or no thank you and move on. That is not that hard to do. Instead of making this person feel like real for offering you something that's really nice. Is it because now I'm in my 50s and I'm just sick and tired of the drama, or is it really because it's just not a big deal?
The man is uncomfortable with approaching you and getting turned down, then how are you in your business? You get turned down all the time in your career. That's like a normal thing you have to get over. I've been turned down a million times.
Ew, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, you kind of, like, as a man in your career, you get used to being rejected. So, like, you should be used to it with women. And what, are you going to stop trying now? Because then you're not going to be successful in your career. So if you think about it like that, like, you should be comfortable with it's okay, because you know a lot of the if you make no shots, you're going to get nowhere, and some of the shots are going to turn into success.
I swear these women only sound intelligent to other women, because this is an absolutely terrible analogy. First off, in business, your close rate is much higher than the close rate that men or the average man has with the woman. Secondly, when you're in business and getting turned down, it doesn't also come with a cup of humiliation, with a cup of social media blasting, with a cup of, oh, you're being a creep, without accusations of accusations. None of these things come with businesses and being turned down in business. And then the other thing is, what's different in business is that this is a very small percentage of men that we're talking about that approach women even in its heyday. The vast majority of men have never been the ones who approach women. That has never been a thing. And secondly, men don't necessarily need women's help on how to approach. We don't need a pep talk. Most men are not approaching not because they're fearful. Most men are approaching because they checked out. They're saying no more of this cat and mouse game with these delusional women. That is what's really happened with men not approaching women. It's very small percentage of men who aren't approaching because of fear.
See, modern women get out here and act a fool. They talk about wanting a man to be generous and a provider man and a man that's chivalrous. But a lot of times they don't. They want a man to continue doing whatever he's doing. Don't change. As a matter of fact, go back to what everybody else was telling you to do as a man. Men used to go to war. And now, I want you to keep on doing that. But I want you to improve. See, the men that used to go to war, what they don't say, because they come in on, this is what modern women do. They come in on the back end of somebody's relationship. And they see grandma moving around and doing certain things. They don't understand that for a long, long time, grandma did exactly what grandpa said to do. That don't mean grandpa was in there hitting on folks, as people like to say. That don't mean grandpa was in there hollering and screaming. Now, grandpa did, put down the belt of discipline on the kids, and grandma did it too. But this is the way daddy said it's going to go. This is the way the man in the house said it's going to go. At the end of the day, that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. And we got to follow that. But where y'all get mixed up is, okay, you stay traditional, but me as the woman, as a modern woman, I'm going to go do whatever I want to do. I'm going to stay out at all times of the day and night. I'm going to drink until I can't stand up straight. And I'm going to be in the line of fire, in the line of danger, and I'm going to need you to come get me. Knowing you got the kids at the house and you got to go to work tomorrow. So then what you got to do in order to come get me, because I'm way across town and my friend for some reason won't bring me home because they probably drunk too and their boyfriend can't get a hold of them. Y'all both acting stupid as I got to pick up the kids, put them in the car. Or here's what some men do. I take them over to mom and daddy's house. I drop them off over there because I don't want them seeing mama like that. What's wrong with mommy? Nothing. Go back to sleep. Can't go back. And now I got to put pressure on my mom and my daddy. They retired. They supposed to be retired or near retirement age. And I got them holding on my babies when we should be at the house sleep. But because you can't get your act together as a modern woman, now I got to go run around, chase you. I got to get up, get the kids dressed. Well, at that time of night, parents probably going to understand. So you don't really got to get them dressed, just make sure they halfway decent. But if I'm going to leave them over there, I got to go get food. So I got to make sure they got food. I got to make sure they got toys to play with and their favorite blankie, their favorite teddy or whatever it might be, and bring them over there. I got to wake up mom and dad at 1 o'clock in the morning. They sleep. They walk into the door all groggy. No, my dad, he might walk up to the door with something on the other side. Trying to make sure ain't nobody acting crazy. That's what I got to go into to come get your silly behind off the side of the road on somebody's front lawn. Throwing up. That's what modern women look at. That's the type of modern woman you're looking at.